Skillet begins the new year with new music.
I haven't said this in any interviews yet because I haven't had a chance to, so you're the first one. Feel special. This is going to be amazing.
This is the award-winning Christian rock band's 11th studio recording. And frontman John Cooper is still happy to unpack the uplifting and empowering message behind the music.
We called the record Dominion, and I'm so very excited about the title. I know how this ends. I'm gonna make it. This project, I think because of, you have pandemic, and all of a sudden you're home, and you're living life in such a different way. And something just happened. We did a Zoom ride with some producers that produced 2 tracks on the last record. And it just went so good. And before you know it, I was like, you know what? You guys produce, the record. I say the clouds around me started darkening. We would record some in our studio and send the files to the producers, and they would edit and send back to us. So we recorded into, we never were in the same room together. It was just bizarre. But I'll just tell you now, since my first interview, I've been able to say it. This album is very rebellious.
In its entirety, the project tackles some of the biggest issues in today's society.
I mean, the lyrics on the record are very anti-establishment. I don't know if we've ever written lyrics this anti-establishment. Standing up for what you believe in, calling for the revolution.
And Cooper says this kind of rebellion is different.
I don't mean rebellion in the way that maybe the world might mean it, right? So the world might mean rebellion like rebelling against God or something of that. It's actually quite the opposite. The state does not have the right under God to come out of their sphere and to come in to my sphere of authority that God gives me over my family. There's a sphere of authority that the church also has. So the state can't come into the church and start telling the church what it's allowed to say about theology and things like that, right? That's what I mean when I start talking about rebellion and anti-establishment.
It's a record calling for believers to take a stand for their faith.
Part of what Dominion, the song, but overall theme, is about is just defiance. So it's just a very defiant record.
And it begins at the beginning with the very first single, Surviving the Game.
Surviving the game is very defiant towards fear. I can be unstoppable, gonna walk through hell, gonna shake the walls. I mean, that's the lyrics of the chorus. And that to me summarizes all of that. I know I can be unstoppable because of Christ, but we're still walking through the battle.
The lyrics are more relevant now than ever.
The biggest pandemic happening in the world, to me, is not COVID, it's fear. It is absolutely, people are terrified. There's, of course, physical issue with COVID, but fear grabs the heart.
Even in the face of outside pressure, Cooper stands strong against any challenge to his faith, and he won't be quiet.
Dominion, to me, is a defiant record against fear. Defiance about you telling me what I'm allowed to say about my faith and what I'm not allowed to say about my faith. I will not be silent about my love for Christ. I will not be silent about what the Word of God says, even though it's getting unpopular to do so.
Because after all,
Dominion is about authority, and we all know who has the ultimate authority. Start a new year, 2022, Dominion.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News.